First day of spring on the farm. It is t-shirt weather out here. I'm so excited to be outside right now. Today I'm going to go walk around the property and see if I can find any poplar buds. I think it's still a little too early in the season, but I want to try and make a salve. So let's go see what I can find for buds. I think there was some pretty decent sized ones over by the barn. So the trees at the back of the property don't seem to be quite in the mode of spring yet. So I'm going to try and see if I can find some of the smaller trees which look like they were budding. So this tree in front of the shed looks like it's got some little buds on it. Normally I wouldn't take them off the tree quite this early, but we're going to cut this tree down anyways. So I may as well harvest. So you want to take these buds off the tree. They're super sticky and resiny. So prepare to get your fingers sticky. And I'm going to harvest about a cup's worth. Now that my fingers are all sticky and resiny, I got about 1/4 of a cup. I was going for a whole cup, but the buds just aren't big enough yet. So I'm going to give this a shot first, and then maybe later on in the season I will harvest again. So let's go inside and melt these down. So now that we have harvested our... Shush. Now that we've harvested our buds, we're back in the kitchen, and we need to kind of soak them in an oil solution for a couple hours so all the resin and stuff can dissolve into the oil. So we're going to use a double boiler for that. Alright, so I just have a small pot filled about halfway with water. I'm going to put it on to medium-high heat, or medium-low heat, I mean. And I just have some coconut oil that I'm going to use. So it's probably about 1/2 cup for every 1/4 cup of buds. It's not an exact science, kind of just go with what you feel. But the idea is to submerge the tips, the buds, I guess, into the oil. Yeah, that should be good. Maybe one more scoop. There. So I'm just going to put this as a double boiler and let it melt and hang out for a bit. So this process is probably going to take a couple hours. So while you're using the double boiler, make sure to check occasionally that there's still water in your pot, as you don't want to scorch your pot. Also, kind of as a disclaimer to anybody that will be using this salve, if you have any sort of poplar allergy or a pollen allergy, make sure that you do a test sample before you start applying it all over yourself. I did see a Reddit post the other day where somebody went into anaphylactic shock because their girlfriend used this and apparently they were super allergic to it. So just as a disclaimer, I don't want to give anybody an allergic reaction. Check back in a bit once it's all melted down. Now that it's all melted down, I've turned the heat down to low, and we're just going to let this hang out for a couple hours. So as you can see, it's got a nice sort of yellowish color, so now we're going to filter it into our container where we're going to keep it and store it. So you can use cheesecloth or any sort of cloth. I have this jelly bag that I'm going to use. Anything will work though. I'm just going to let that sit for a minute. Alright, now that I've let this sit for a bit, I'm just going to take this off. These buds can be thrown into the compost. And then the liquid I'm just going to store in the fridge. Once it's solidified, then I can apply it to my skin. Now that it's been in the fridge for a couple days, I realized it's a little too hard, so I sat it on my counter. So now you just apply it like any other balm. If it's too hard, just microwave it, it's fine. And apply it like any sort of topical pain reliever. So poplar is used for pain relief and inflammation. Stored at room temperature or in the fridge, should last until you think it goes rancid. Yeah, we'll see you in the next video.